Hello guys! Welcome back to my channel. At kung bago ka sa channel na to, I'm Za and this is Za Canada. Well, today we are going to talk about an important topic about settlement services kasi may mga pagbabago na nangyayari. And this applies for those people who are immigrant to Canada, future immigrant, international student, or worker. There is a latest update from IRCC about settlement services eligibility. May changes na maaring maka-affect sa economic immigrants. Kung ano ba yan, kung ano yung mga settlement services na yan, who can access them, and sino ang pwedeng mawala ng access, yan ang pag-uusapan natin sa video na to. Panoorin hanggang dulo. Well, once again, thank you so much for subscribing into my channel. At kung hindi pa, mag-subscribe na kayo. And in my channel, we normally talk about immigration updates and anything that has something to do with immigrants who are already here in Canada. So, let's talk about ano nga ba talaga ang mga settlement services. Settlement services are free programs funded by Canadian government to help newcomers integrate their life dito sa Canada. Paano sila magiging o mabubuhay ng maayos dito sa Canada. Okay? So these services include finding a job. So these institution help people para makapaghanap ng madali o makapaghanap ng trabaho, improve their English or French. So which means that there are free services that they can offer para ma-improve yung language ng isang immigrant or ng isang worker. Learning how Canadian systems work. So Canadian system, which means what are the rights of an employee, or sometimes ano ba yung mga benefits na maaaring makuha ng isang worker or ng isang immigrant, and others. Connecting with community support, which means that, for example, if you are alone, or if you don't have any relatives or friends here in Canada, so paano ka ba makakakuha ng support, community support, and others? For example, community support if you've been abused in your job. Sometimes they give free consultation sa isang psychologist or sa isang therapist. So these are community support. Okay? So example of settlement services include language classes. Ito na nga yung sinasabi ko kanina. Resume resume workshops, job search assistance, newcomer orientation, and community connections. So basically, these services help newcomers adjust to life in Canada faster and more successfully. The goal of the program is to help immigrants overcome barriers and integrate into Canadian society economically and socially. So para hindi naman sila ma-homesick, di ba? Halimbawa, bago silang immigrant, tas wala silang kilala. So these kind of settlement services provide support for these type of people. Pero again, kung may kamag-anak ka rin naman dito sa Canada, that doesn't mean that this program doesn't apply to you. So there are a lot of programs that can help you integrate dito sa Canada. But who normally qualifies in this program? Traditionally, most permanent residents are eligible for settlement services. According to IRCC, these services are available to permanent residents, protected persons or refugees, people approved in principle for PR. These individuals can receive support until they become Canadian citizens. However, temporary residents like international students, work permit holders or visitors, normally hindi sila eligible. Okay? Unless, or hindi kami eligible, kasali ako dyan. They're in specific programs with a clear pathway to PR. Or unless they are in specific programs with a clear pathway to PR. So historically, settlement services were focused on helping people who are becoming permanent residents settle in Canada. So, basically, itong mga settlement services na to is para dun sa mga immigrants or landed PR or yung mga na-PR na eventually magiging Canadian citizens or magiging naturalized or actually, magiging Canadian citizens dito sa Canada. Well, let's talk about the new change nga. So, may nagbago. Canada is making adjustments to eligibility for settlement services, especially affecting some economic immigrants. This change is connected to broader government spending reviews and program restructuring. So, which means na chinek nila yung budget and just to make sure that everything is aligned according to its economic needs or economic purpose. So, these are plans to limit eligibility to certain economic immigrants group when it comes to accessing settlement services funded by federal government. So in simple terms, hindi lahat ngayon ng economic immigrants is magko-qualify na sa certain programs or sa settlement program. Some newcomers may need to rely, so yung mga newcomers, yung mga paparating pa lang, they might need to rely into provincial or community programs. Hindi na nila pwedeng ma-take advantage yung federal program, but they may still take advantage of provincial or community programs, or some programs might only focus on those people with higher needs groups, like refugees. So experts say that this change could affect access to important programs that help newcomers find jobs and integrate into Canadian society. Kasi 'di ba minsan, if you are a landed PR, you would need these settlement services just to make sure that you'll get the job according to your profile. Kasi 'di ba may mga landed immigrant. So let's just say for example that you were a teacher back in the Philippines and nag-qualify ka sa education category-based selection and galing kang Pilipinas. Pagdating mo dito, you are a landed PR, but you don't know where to start or you don't know where to apply for jobs. So these settlement services can actually help you find job. But kung babaguhin nga nila, then it might affect you. Okay? Some reports say that there will be reduction in funding for certain settlement program as part of the broader budget assessments. So, with regard to those newcomers that are arriving in Canada with the highest needs, they might only focus for refugees, protected persons, or vulnerable immigrants. And what this means for future immigrants. Ano nga ba ibig sabihin nito para dun sa mga taong parating pa lang? If you are planning to come to Canada through programs like Express Entry, Provincial Nominee Program, and Skilled Worker Program, you might still receive support. Okay? But some programs could become more limited. This means newcomers may need to search for community-based services, provincial employment programs, or rely more on private training or language programs. So, kailangan na lang nilang mag-rely para dun sa mga private individual. Okay? But don't panic. Many non-profit organizations will offer support services even outside federal program. Marami pa rin namang non-profit organization dito na tumutulong sa mga immigrant or dun sa mga temporary foreign workers na nandito sa Canada. Yung mga kadarating lang. And what is our advice for the newcomers? If you are planning to immigrate to Canada, but here are some tips. Improve your English or language before arriving. So make sure that you have maximized your English or French bago ka pa makarating dito sa Canada. Kasi yan naman talaga yung official language ng Canada. So imagine, how are you going to apply for work if you cannot speak their language? So dapat you can sell yourself, kumbaga. So you'll have to market yourself, 'di ba? Pag nag-a-apply tayo ng trabaho, kailangan natin masagot ng maayos yung mga interview para eventually makahanap tayo ng trabaho. So next is prepare your resume in a Canadian format. So marami na namang free services ngayon. Marami ng AI na nagsusulputan, and most of the time you really don't have to look for a professional who's going to do it for you, or look for someone else who will do it for you. You just have to make your own research. Free lang yan. Free lang yan. Unless nandiyan ka sa Pilipinas, kasi syempre kailangan mo bumili ng data. Kailangan mo ng Wi-Fi connection. But then again, tumira rin naman ako sa Pilipinas, there are a lot of establishments who offer free Wi-Fi connection nowadays. Next is research settlement agencies in your city. Which means na, halimbawa, pupunta ka sa, let's just say, Kelowna, BC. You have to make sure na you already make a research on what are the non-profit organization or provincial settlement companies who could provide you support once you get here. Halimbawa, yun na nga, yung kagaya nga na sinabi ko. For example, if you are a landed PR, dumating ka dito as a permanent resident through one of the express entry categories. Siyempre, wala ka pa naman talagang trabaho pagdating mo rito. So, in order for you to get a job, you might need these settlement people or settlement services. And then, kung nandiyan ka pa lang sa Pilipinas, then try to make your own research. Okay? So once again, everything is already in the internet. Okay? And next one is build networks early. Which means na you may want to connect sa Facebook. There are so much Filipino groups nowadays who could help you settle properly in the place where you are about to go to or where you are about to land. Kung halimbawa, magsisettle ka dito sa Vancouver, there are really so much Filipino groups who offer their own support para makapag-settle ka ng maayos dito sa Canada. Uso pa rin ang bayanihan dito. Okay? Settlement services are helpful, but being prepared before arriving is even more powerful. So, mas maganda na yung pagdating mo pa lang rito, alam mo na yung gagawin mo, alam mo na kung saan ka pupunta, alam mo na kung saan ka mag-a-apply, at kung paano ka mabubuhay in your first few weeks or first few months pagdating mo dito sa Canada. Okay? So again, that should be it for the latest update for the changes to settlement service eligibility for economic immigrants in Canada. And the key takeaway is settlement services still exist. Nag-i-exist pa rin siya. Hindi naman siya nawala. But eligibility and access may change to some immigrants, especially in the economic category. Okay? So that should be it for now, or this video. Thank you for watching. If you like it, don't forget to like and subscribe into my channel. At laging tatandaan, hindi kailangan maraming pera, basta may peace of mind. Thank you for watching. Until next time. Bye-bye.